Yay! Finally. Yes, perfect.
Hi.
How are you, Alexandra?
Very good.
Good.
It's morning, not very early, so lots of energy already.
Good. Very good. So here is already, well, night, well, kind of evening time in Australia. But today was a sunny day in Brisbane, so that's good. Yeah, lately the weather was very unpredictable here. But yeah, today it was good.
Okay.
Glad to have you here, Alexandra. Thank you so much. I think we're just gonna wait some minutes for people to join us.
Yes.
Good. So you're in your studio.
Yes, I thought this would be perfect for a talk because
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time here, and definitely this is my creativity place. So
Of
uh,
course.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah, amazing. That's where you are actually like do classes as well, right? You teach in that studio.
Right, right. Yes, I have rehearsals and I also have classes here. So
Oh, amazing. One day when I go to Ukraine, I'll definitely join you. I
yes,
know
you
where to go.
have my invitation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
Some of my friends are already joining, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Perfect. Yes, we can go ahead and start our talk. The second Mestiza talk. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the ones who are joining now. And Alexandra, I would like to, of course, start by telling you thank you so much for being here, for joining us in this second talk. I am very grateful, as I mentioned to Karen on the other day when I did the first talk with her. I really admire you. I'm really honored to actually have this talk with you, and especially that you have been so helpful since the very beginning. Like when I told you, okay, let's do it, and you were super in, and I was like, oh my god, let's do it then. Now we're here. Thank you so much for your willingness to talk about dance and empowerment, and of course how this amazing art can be a great tool for us women. Of course, I'm gonna do a little bit of introduction as well for Mestiza, right? Mestiza. Well, first of all, about me, actually, I always forget to introduce myself. This time I'm gonna do it in English. My name is Jadia Curio. For the ones who don't know me, I am from Peru. I am the creator of Mestiza Dance. And Mestiza is actually a community of dance where we aim to be empowered and inspired through movement. Uh, the actual word of mestiza has also a meaning, which is a woman who carries this kind of mixed heritage, mixed race heritage. So what I really want to get to know to all of us women is that we all have this beautiful mix inside. Sometimes I know because of society or maybe just because several things can happen in our life, it's really hard to bring them out. And I think dance is a great tool to actually improve this. And yeah, that's pretty much the meaning that attaches with the community as well. I'm very happy to have met beautiful souls here in Brisbane in our physical community. We were first based in Sydney before, and now we do the mestiza terms here in Brisbane. And what we do pretty much is learn the flamenco technique and then adapt it into different readings and of course flamenco fusion. And of course, I love the idea of having this beautiful community as well in social media, as you have found these amazing women across the world that actually share the same meaning as mestiza and have different dance backgrounds, different dance pathways, but in a sort of sense, we are all unified with this meaning when dancing. So thank you so much for being here. That's actually a little bit about Mestiza, a little bit about myself, and now actually I'll let you talk because, as I mentioned before, if I talk, I'll talk for hours and hours, and I won't stop. So this talk is for you to talk about yourself, to be yourself, and to inspire others. So I'll let you talk. Perhaps we can start by asking you, who is Alexandra Baravina? Who are you? If you can tell us more about yourself, your passions, what you do there in Ukraine.
Yes, sure. Thank you. So I think I'm a flamenco fan. This
Mm-hmm.
number.
Yes. Yeah, I can tell.
Crazy one. Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. And so, also, I think I can call myself a flamenco addict.
Yes, definitely.
This is what actually drives me. This is what actually makes sense to what I do generally in life. And I guess that's the main thing about it. Okay. And I think I have been very strict in terms of everything has to be done perfectly. You know, like it was a little bit extreme, I think, when I began. Like you have to do everything the best way, the total, the utmost. But I guess over time, it just converted to persistence. You know, you just do what you do day after day. And that also helps to make sense to myself and to people around me who are also joining me, like my students or my partners, so, you know, my companions in what I do. So that's in just a few words.
Right.
Yeah, I am a member of Ukrainian Dance Federation, which is a wonderful community of dancers of all kinds of dance. And almost all of us are members of CID, which is Conseil International de la Danse, which is based in Paris. It's a UNESCO organization.
Mm-hmm.
So what you are talking about is very close to what we have as a meaning to what we do. You know, the transformations through dance, the personal growth through dance.
Amazing.
Development. So I'm very happy to talk with you today because I find a lot of points of connection.
Oh, thank you, Alexandra. I'm very happy to, and that's amazing actually how you convert yourself in a flamenco fan, as you said, and the persistence, which is very important, right? And sometimes when we start a passion, we forget the persistence, this persistency, and how this can be more joyful rather than just like, you know, going into the perfect side of it, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. I really love your introduction. Thank you so much, really. Maybe you can talk about a little bit as well about your dance pathway, how you actually became interested about flamenco and how you found the flamenco in your life.
Yeah, sure. I was in search of it was over some times ago, right?
Yeah.
Some activity which would be both physical, you know, that could give me training, and also I wanted to be filled emotionally because it, you know, the gyms did not work for me that good. It gave me my body, you know, the exercise,
Right.
it did not give the emotional relief, you know, of the things you have inside. So I realized it should be dance that I should be doing, okay? And I was actually specifically thinking of what kind of dance I could go in. And I ended up finding this most difficult, you know,
Yeah.
and most exciting and what's the word?
Like passionate, right? Like flamenco, I think it's a mix of things.
Was, you know, it was also a bit exotic here.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what. And it really inspired me. And it was flamenco, right? I
Mhm.
found this type of dance, and I thought, okay, this is what I could do to the end of my life. I
Wow.
perspective. So, and that was, that was a decision that I made, and I looked for the studios here, and I started dancing in my native city in Kharkiv. And pretty soon I felt I was ready to go to Spain. And
Wow.
yes, and
How
from
soon? Like you just went straight to Spain
yeah, yeah,
before.
yeah. Oh, no problem. Go to Spain. Yeah, we have to
Amazing.
obvious. So I guess I was enchanted then. My first trip was to Granada, and that became my place of power.
Wow.
Like say the right place, the
Yeah.
home.
You
The
must breathe flamenco in Granada, right?
Yeah. And this is the style I love the most, even now, the
Yeah.
style of Granada dance. So then I studied in Carmen de las Cuevas, which is a school for foreigners in Granada. And then I was introduced to the flamenco school of Manolete, and I did some classes there over several years. And I took classes with Marquito and yeah, yeah, and Ana Cali and Mercedes Ruiz and La Lupe.
Wow. La
So
Lupe.
I could, and what I feel is I could take those classes again and again, actually, because it really has no end. And
Right. Yes.
no bounds, no boundaries. And I feel very much attached to all these people that I learned from. So I could easily go and continue, really. Study
Right.
doesn't get me tired. So,
Yeah. I think that's actually the feeling when you find something very unique as flamenco, right? And I always say once you start with flamenco, it never ends. It's
I,
for a lifetime, right?
yes,
Um, Especially like being the same, you and me, I am Peruvian, right? Like, of course, there is flamenco in Peru, but I don't think we precisely know how big this art is until you go to Spain and experience everything. You actually feel the passion, feel everything that flamenco brings to you,
right.
right? Amazing, amazing, Alexandra.
So I want to add a little bit that this era, online era, that caught us a little bit over the
Yeah,
recent.
exactly.
Yes, it actually uncovered some new opportunities
Mhm.
because over this time we were able to connect to some people who I was really a fan of, like Bravata Dance Company. And it also opened up opportunities for some online classes, like Eduardo Guerrero gave lives, and
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So this was a very rich online training time. So it wasn't bad. It was wonderful in a certain way. And I think it really gave me some turn together with my experience with my friends from Ukrainian Dance Federation. When we learn from each other a lot, we have get-togethers, and we have classes of different dance styles. So I guess the combination of all of this kind of gave a little shift to what I do. Okay, to the way I create choreography and to the way I think about it. So I guess this is an important part of my growing up as a choreographer and as a dancer. So
Right,
and gave a little shift to more of a contemporary interpretation of flamenco.
right, of course. Yeah, I can see that like there are very unique interpretations of what you actually have done with flamenco. Um, I think it's great, like especially as you mentioned as well. Of course, since the pandemic, uh, we may don't realize how we actually, in the opposite side, we were lucky as well, because in a sort of way we were always also connected, right? We have been seeing this art form more often that as we see perhaps flamenco in the real life, right? We took classes, of course we had more time as well, we were more like present in the online platforms, and I think that's great that it has been part of your growth as well. It's amazing. Thank you. How you think, and now that you're talking about, of course, like putting this own interpretation on what you do, what do you think about this dance form as an empowerment tool for you or for your community, or for women in general? Do you think dance, I'm pretty sure you're gonna say yes, but just asking as a curiosity, what do you think about dance as an empowerment tool for us?
Okay, let me start with this. Yes, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, of course.
I think so. And I think when we start from the, from the very beginning, the dance helps us to uncover and show our emotions. And dance is a kind of a tool that can help you transmit almost any kind of emotion, especially when we speak of flamenco, because it's very wide in its emotional fan of emotions. It's from the sad to the tragic to the funny,
Right.
to
Exactly.
the joyful, right?
Yeah.
all um, all of this is encompassed in flamenco. So generally this dance style is very rich, and when you go into it, when you start dancing, you start living through those emotions, and it actually helps you realize what's inside of you. I mean, any dancer, right? What's inside of the dancer,
Yeah.
feelings. And even if you have not noticed this, and you get oppressed by these feelings that you don't see, you gotta get relieved after you express them through dance. And it's really not obvious without another person looking at you and saying, okay, let's dance some alegrías. Or
Right,
okay,
exactly.
yeah.
What is that alegrías, first of all? Right? Like they may ask.
Or sometimes you say, guys, it's perfect time for bulerías now, because
Exactly.
we need energy, we need precision, we need some, being like exact.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so on and so on. You take different styles of dance, and they match
Mm-hmm.
well with what's going on inside of you or around you, and it helps you to express. And definitely that makes a person stronger. Definitely that makes a person more aware of themselves, and more aware of what they would like to do right now with their lives, you know starting
Yeah.
from this moment, going on to this half an hour, and going on to this day, and so on. So this is a really wonderful, wonderful tool. And the second thing which dance brings us is connection to our bodies. Because sometimes we find that we get strained in the body and we don't notice it until we start to work with it, you know?
Right.
And then it becomes important to have as many variations of movement as possible. So you can really exercise, all of your body
Yeah.
and feel each part of it, and get relief of these tensions that you have, which
Mm.
also improves the quality of life.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, tremendously.
Yes. So
I think, yeah, definitely. That's actually great. Exactly what you said is what I think, I share. I think it's very important what you have said about the rich part of flamenco, right? Like the different contrasts that you can find in flamenco because of the different palos that you can dance, the different styles. Uh, and it's also a way, as you said, it's also a way to find yourself in these different palos, right? Because, for example, I don't know if it may has happened with you as well, but when I start with flamenco, of course, I start with the big dress, with a big flower, and then like, of course, dancing, right? Like sevillanas, alegrías, bulerías, and these different palos. But then you find yourself in what you are more related to, and it sometimes it's actually very interesting how it can be connected what is happening with your life at that moment. So you are perhaps more related with Solia por bulerías in one moment of your life because you have to dance that palo, right? It's actually connecting what is happening with you. It's strong, it's passionate, it's very firm. And in another point of view, on another part of your life, it's a different palo, right? And I think that's the richness of flamenco. Flamenco has different parts of even our emotions and our personality can rely to.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. That's how rich the flamenco is. It's amazing. And what do you think about, of course, like flamenco? We have already said flamenco, it's an empowerment tool, or dance in general, art, I think. What about like actually making fusion, like creating something new, or perhaps like just putting the fusion a part of it? Like, what do you think about creating something new, having the flamenco as a tool for the actual creation? And I think you can rely on this a lot, right?
Okay. So I wanted to add to the previous point when
Yes.
we saw about the different emotions that different styles of flamenco carry.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, maybe sometimes, it is a way to learn the new state of emotions. Like you're always the type of Soleá person, so it means it would be great if you learn some joyful alegrías, and kind of get that feeling of another state of emotion. And I think this is very transformational and it helps to grow. It helps to enrich your personality and your emotional states. So getting back to the flamenco fusion question that you asked,
Yes. Yes. I would
it,
love to.
it inherits all of the good points that we already mentioned about flamenco. It doesn't lose anything, to my opinion. Okay, and what it actually adds is some contemporary, the feeling of being in this specific time, because we're all, we're full of information that comes in, and we listen to the contemporary songs and we like them, right? We
Yeah.
dance on the disco, I mean, on the parties, we dance to this music, and we feel emotions about it. We like it. We feel emotionally connected. So when we take the great techniques of flamenco and all the tools for emotional self-expression, and we add this state of contemporariness, I think it gives a new perspective to the whole dance, and it
Right.
kind of gives you a little more freedom, to my opinion. Okay. Because you're more free to be what you are today.
And
you
you're
know
well, you're actually feeling it, right?
yeah, it helps to be to bring you to this specific moment right now. Okay, so on the other side, as I already mentioned, I've learned a lot of contemporary dances with my friends, and
Amazing.
I realized that different types of dances are good for different combinations of training of your body, for certain muscles, okay, for certain
Right.
your body. And when you shift from one style to another, you kind of feel that you get enriched in the movements.
Mm.
You start to learn new movement patterns, and it really feels joyful to your body. because it's something new, you know, like it's like a treat, like a
Yes.
new dish, you know, that you
Yeah.
try.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah. And then I thought, why not bring all these uh, delicious movements and feelings about this into
Yeah.
my favorite style, which I'm
Yeah.
very into flamenco. Why not feel this freedom of movement of a certain dance style? Why not bring it in? And
Exactly.
it really felt good, you know. So here's a second point: why, oh, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
yeah, yeah, I think it's perfect what you said when you actually mentioned that on the last question, about exploration, right? When you're dancing and when you're having these different um, emotions that are like making your personality more alive, and you didn't even know that you have this type of feelings deep inside, right? And I think that is part of, as well as the fusion, right? When we talk about the fusion and we talk about the exploration of feelings, it matches perfectly because it becomes you, right? It becomes yourself and what you are feeling, and maybe you get at some point in your life that you want to, okay, I've tried this, I've tried this dance, this art form, and then I really want to create my own thing, right? I really want to, as you said, to do an experiment, right? To create something and to make it unique, right? I think that that's the important part of attaching these both facts, right? Having the flamenco as a tool for fusion, plus having the exploration of your own feelings. I think that's very important what you said. And of course, it's actually becoming, it's making us becoming more free and becoming more confident on showing what we feel, without being scared, you know, because I don't think there is such a bad thing to feel or to demonstrate who we really are, who we truly are and what we are feeling, right? Yeah, definitely.
um, I think I could add one more thing. uh, I think flamenco fusion or contemporary type of
Yeah.
flamenco
Mm-hmm.
is very good to start speaking to people about flamenco in general, because it's more easily understandable, and
Yes.
people feel more connected to it here and now. But if they get interested, it's like a path. They always
Yeah.
can go deeper and deeper, and you know, it, uncover all this universe of flamenco. You know, all this art, which is very deep and which is really great in amount, right? It's,
Yes, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree, and especially because flamenco, well, it's seen, right, as we can come back in like to our first question when you sometimes you, even myself, like, and I think everyone who becomes a flamenco dancer at the very first beginning is like, oh my god, how I'm gonna do that in my life, right? Like that looks very hard, right? But on the other hand, you try, you practice, and then you actually develop yourself. If we're talking about, of course, pure flamenco, you develop yourself into that dance form, right? And you even like, again, explore yourself. You try to find yourself in the flamenco. But sometimes I think people they see the difficulty of flamenco first, and they don't actually tend to move forward with the flamenco, or with the willingness of practicing more and getting to that dance form. And I think, of course, flamenco fusion of you want to try it like, in a different sense and in a different environment, I think can be also a pathway for having that exploration, right? You can even like practice fusion and then be more into, okay, now I want to practice flamenco. Okay, what is flamenco now? right? And what is fusion? Then you can even like differentiate like both. What is flamenco fusion? What is pure flamenco? I really love this dance form because it gives you this option, right? It
Right.
gives you this freedom of using that amazing technique into something that you didn't even like know. Okay, wow, you can do that with flamenco, right? That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Sandra.
One more thing, which is I don't think it well, never mind. So I wanted to say that through this flamenco fusion dance
Mm-hmm.
style, I got connected to so many wonderful people.
Yeah,
Like to whom I feel attached. They're like me. They're exploring the culture of a different country, of a country that you were not born in, and
yes.
that makes me feel very close to my friends in Latin America.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
also to people in the whole world, like in the United States and Japan and you know Korea and all these countries that like you know they have a lot of people who learn flamenco,
Mm-hmm.
although it's not their native thing.
Yes,
So it
exactly.
really
And we
makes
are.
connected to everyone. So
Yes, definitely. It's amazing how this art form can actually put us together and share it, right? And we all share the same passion, the same passion for flamenco, and the same, I think, the same belief of what flamenco has brought to us, right? Because I think there is a point of your life when you said, okay, I really want to go ahead and follow this path. And it's because you have reached that level of loving it so much, loving flamenco that you cannot even like live without it, right? That's amazing. I love what you said. I love what you have shared with us. It's just amazing. It's very inspirational. What you do, it's very inspirational, Alexandra. And I wish you all the best. I've been following you for a while, so I know what you have done there in Ukraine. You built such an amazing community. I've seen you dancing with a lot of students, taking online classes, building. I think you have also this yoga company, right? But that is for dancers.
yeah, I'd love to touch upon that. Again, coming back to my to my
Yes.
friends Ukrainian Dance Federation. They very many of them are also yoga practitioners and yoga teachers. So
Wow.
having experience with them and having experience with dance, it uh, brought an idea of connection of the two disciplines, yoga and dance, right? And creating yoga for specific for dancers in general. So we
Right.
have different types of yoga for dancers, like yoga for high heels dancers, yoga
Wow.
pole dancers, yoga for
Oh,
yoga for classic Indian dancers, and of course yoga for flamenco dancers, which I have an honor to be part of the forming
wow.
part of their team. Okay, and we also had our friends from uh, Ukrainian Institute of Yoga Therapy, who are actually doctors, help us create this set of exercises that actually help to balance the load of training in each specific dance through this yoga. So, for example, very easy. If I work a lot with my feet and with my legs,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I need to balance. Okay, I need stretching. I need certain exercises that help me relieve the tension on my legs, for example. And that's some part of the flamenco for yoga for flamenco dancers.
Right.
That's a very very brief introduction. So I'm an instructor of this style of yoga, very
Amazing.
specific for my, basically created for myself, for my students, for people like me, that
Right.
help to feel better in
Right. Exactly.
in my case, right? Even if I want to, even if I want to train 24 hours, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Really, uh, several hours per day. So even if you get really tired of your training, you can do this set of exercises that balances your state, which is
Amazing.
very, I very highly recommend it.
Yeah, I would love to join that class. I mean, like, especially you, that if you are instructing like flamenco dancers, right? It's, you can always see from your perspective as a dancer what do you
Yes,
need, right? Because like
absolutely.
it's of course a different technique as different as others, like dance forms, right? Dance styles. So flamenco, it's, yeah, it's very very helpful, especially like with flamenco, because flamenco, as we know, you have to stretch a lot, right?
Yeah, you get certain areas of body that get overtrained in,
Exactly.
especially when you go to a professional level of dancing.
Mm.
This is this is the time where you need to balance, to do the compensational exercise.
Or
I using the right English
as
word.
any dance form, really. Mm.
Compensate.
To compensate, yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Alexandra. I really appreciate everything, what you do, everything. Oh my God, I think you have like many projects on hand: yoga, flamenco, dancer, Ole Prima as well, your school, right, in Ukraine. Even like you're not just a dancer, you're a businesswoman as well. And that's very inspirational. I really appreciate your time today. I don't know if you actually have any questions for me, um, just to finalize our beautiful talk.
Yes. Well, first of all, I would like to say that I really appreciate your invitation here,
Oh,
and
thank
what you did is what you're doing is really generous. You know,
you.
it's it feels it feels amazing that people around the world may be so open as you are, you know, to just do things for others. So very much for that.
Thank
And
you.
that's actually my question would be to you. Could you please give us some, you know, insight into what you do? I think you mentioned you called it social marketing efforts,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Can you
Yes, absolutely.
a couple of words about what you do?
Yes, of course. So, well, when I came to Australia, I came to Australia mostly like, yeah, two years and a half ago. Um, Always with the plan to study a master's. I actually I come back from a very like business environment in my like my career actually. However, coming here to Australia, I really wanted to study. I said myself, yeah, I really want to go ahead with a master. I really want to specialize in something very meaningful, and something that can be attached with my passion for helping others as well. So I am doing a degree of master's. However, my specialization and my minor per se, it's social marketing, or we can actually call it as well marketing for social impact. So what it is, it's pretty much as the word itself says, social, right? It's not the marketing that we know in the business model every day. We actually, in social marketing, we put the people as a core. It's pretty much using all the marketing tools, all the marketing techniques in order to help the community and to help others, and to precisely actually change social beliefs as well. So what I'm doing right now, part of my degree, it's based on a research as well. Well, Mestiza as well. It's actually based on the research that I'm doing right now. Is how dance and everything that we have talked, dance can be a great and an amazing tool for us to become our true selves, to become more confident, to have more self-love, and to just become to actually bring out all the uniqueness that we have as women, right? Of course, as marketing has always have to cover a sort of problem that we have in the society. It's pretty much covering that social belief, coming back as well as we talked before, the flamenco, right? How the flamenco it's been seen, right? And trying to put there myself with Mestiza, I really want to show that flamenco can be also a great tool to impact people's life and improve life, actually, and not just physically, as we said, because dance in general is a skill that you can develop by itself, but also mentally, and how it can be improved through a great, actually, a scenario of being your daily dose of happiness, of joy, of confidence, and just empowering, right? A very empowering tool for us, and even like not just for women, but I think for everyone.
I agree.
So yeah, Mestiza, at the end of this, it's actually a social brand that aims for this, right? It's to put flamenco fusion out there, actually dance in general, have this meaning when dancing. So yeah.
Great.
Did I answer your question yet? That's pretty much it. Mm-hmm.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And actually, I'm very happy to have met you. I know at one point of life, we will definitely be meeting in person. I have a pending trip to Ukraine, hopefully soon. Yeah. Well, now that I know you, right? Of course. I'll be attending your classes for sure. And you're more than welcome to come to Australia anytime that you like. If you want to have a workshop here, to actually do a talk as well, you're more than welcome. It will be very nice to have you, Alexandra. And I really looking forward to meet you in person one day, and I wish you all the very best in your career, in your school, with your students. What you do, it's very, very inspirational and amazing. Keep shining as you do. Keep being you, keep being Alexandra. Yeah, we really look forward, not just me, all the mestizas. And I think all the social media platform of Mestiza once you're here in Australia.
Thank you very much. It feels so warm. Thank you.
Thank you. Sending you a big hug. Thank you. So hopefully I'll see you soon then. And thank you so much for your time. Mwah.